Goldie here, joined by Rich Hagan and Simon Gertzen. Welcome to the end step. Day one is in the books here at Pro Tour Ixalan, and it's time to reveal our card of the day. Simon, what have you chosen and why?
I've chosen a Danto Vanguard.
I'm for it. I'm for it.
But this isn't because of round one, is it?
No, it's not because of Limited, although it's very good in Limited. It's one of the key cards for the vampire archetype. No, I think this card is a really nice card to showcase the innovation that we've seen in Standard. We have a meta game that's just bubbling to the surface. So a Danto Vanguard is the key card in mono-white vampires, but we also see Riddle form being played, and we could pick all kinds of cards that are really, you know, not top-tier cards. They are not Long Tusk Cup, but if you look hard enough, you'll find these gems, and you make them work.
Right, and also, if there are 900 Long Tusk Cubs in the room, it turns out that having one of 20 Adanto Vanguards might be a route to success. Not necessarily, but any given Adanto Vanguard is going to put you in some kind of position.
And one thing, Rich, your opponents will have tested much more games against Long Tusk Cup than Adanto Vanguard.
And I want to talk about this card in Limited, too, because it's a lot better than it might look at first glance.
When we first saw it, we thought, that's a decent card, maybe attacks for 3 sometimes. 4 life, that's a lot, right? Who wants to pay 4 life? But the threat of activation of this card is so huge. And then you add an Anointed Deacon, and your opponent is just like, this 2-drop is basically killing me on its own.
Yep, so the card of the day is Adanto Vanguard.
All right, well, that means it's time for the team of the day. Of course, Brian David Marshall is going to give us that.
Thanks, Maria. I'm here with the team of the day, and that team has to be Team Channel Fireball. So much stuff going on for these guys. We got to check in with them on Tuesday earlier this week while they were still playtesting, shoot a couple videos with them. You saw us talking to Luis Scott Vargas, the once and future captain of Team Channel Fireball, who returned to play at the beginning here this season. And then they've just had a tremendous day one. You see Mike Sigrist, he went 7-1. Josh Utter-Layton, 6-2. Paulo Vitor Damarosa, also 7-1. I believe Ben Stark also 7-1. Let's take a look at their scoreboard and see how all these guys did. And you can see the numbers start to add up over here. 7-1, 7-1, 7-1, 6-2, 6-2. Luis Scott Vargas, who said, you know what, maybe I'll be a little rusty coming back to the Pro Tour. He's merely 5-3. And you know what, that's a great result. And Luis Scott Vargas knows how to close out a tournament. And these guys are just kind of way out ahead of the pack in the team series here early on. Oh, by the way, their co-team for testing this week, Team Ultra Pro, also doing pretty well when we looked a round or two ago. I'm going to check in, but I wouldn't be surprised to see those guys running 1-2 here. We'll have to do a little double checking. But right now, Team Channel Fireball, they're our team of the day.
Thanks so much, BDM, and that means it's time for the match of the day, and we're going to head down to our feature match area with Riley Knight and the birthday boy himself, Tim Willoughby.
Well, when it comes to match of the day, Riley, we all know that when it comes to the greatest sport ever invented, cricket, it's possible to play for 5 days, have it turn out to be a draw, and have that be the most satisfactory bit of sport you can possibly watch. As it turns out, Magic can be exactly the same way. In round 6, we really got our money's worth, where we had Pascal Maynard up against Pascal Viren. Now, each of these players came along with a fairly innovative deck. On one side of things, Maynard had Godfarer's Gift, but on the other, a very saucy number indeed, that one being the Hidden Stockpile list.
Yeah, the four-color Anointed Procession deck can really, it just has the biggest and the largest, the best late game really going in Standard at the moment. And, you know, Paul Chan was saying that he fancied the GPG deck going into it. They can get off to a very aggressive start, sort of a combo-based thing that they can get going with Angel of Invention very early, that sort of thing. But look, in round 6, we saw some of the most incredible Magic you're ever going to see. Both the thing that set this match apart was that both decks fired on all cylinders throughout the entire time. They did exactly what they wanted. They both had the absolute nuttiest draws you're ever going to see. And as a result, we had Viren get up in game number 1 after a huge slog through enormous amounts of all this sort of stuff like that. And then game number 2, out of nowhere, Maynard pulls this win out of thin air with, you know, again, this huge Godfarer's Gift finish. He had 3 of them on the battlefield at the time. But of course, it did kind of fizzle out at the end there, Tim.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that when you have 2 fantastic games that each go on for a fair amount, you know, game 1 ended in decking. By the time you get to the end of those 2 games, we weren't quite able to complete our 3rd one, but let that not dissuade you, because this ultimately was our match of the day. Fantastic Magic in round 6. Do go back and check it out.
Thanks so much, Tim and Riley. Well, there's our match of the day. We certainly need a player of the day. How about somebody who's 8-0 and someone we like to call the slow roll master? BDM, who is it?
Thanks, Maria. I'm here with the slow roll master himself, Yam Wing Chun, putting the red in redemption. The last time we saw you in the tournaments in the feature match area, it was kind of heartbreak for you. How eager were you to get back to this tournament and right the ship after that match?
Yeah, I mean, like the mistake is really heartbreaking. Yeah, but it doesn't really take away how I play the red deck.
And
yeah.
you know how you got a Pro Tour top 8, which is
yes.
pretty exciting.
Yeah, and this time Tomoharu Saito, he's the workhorse of the team. He played the list of mine for like 30 leagues on Magic Online. Yeah, and I think the deck is really good.
And so you end day one at 8-0. Have you ever had a day one finish like this at the Pro Tour before?
Yeah, this is my best day one finish at the Pro Tour.
And tell us about how your draft went. We know how your constructed went. You played the red deck, and you attacked and you killed people. How did the draft play out for you for those first 3 rounds?
Yeah, so basically my deck is a black-white vampire that's close to a train wreck before pack 3, where I got a little bit lucky. I got past to another Deacon in very late. I think it's like 6th and 7th pick.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, which make my deck
So like 36th and 37th pick?
Yeah, and that makes my deck like from a pile to like a really good deck. Yeah, and I'm pretty lucky that my deck functions well. Yes, and I'm able to like, because I think this is the first time I 3-0 in a draft at a Pro Tour.
How much work did you put in Limited between the last Pro Tour and this Pro Tour?
So basically our team, we draft a lot on Magic Online, and we put together our result on an Excel spreadsheet. And personally, I have been doing drafts and sharing info with Li Tian and another Hong Kong player, Wukong Fai. So basically, I wake up at 1 p.m. every day, and I do like 1 or 2 drafts, and they watch and comment, and yeah, we decide on the picks.
Well, it certainly paid off you. Hopefully that success continues tomorrow. Get a good night's sleep. Yam Wing Chun, our player of the day here at 8-0 Pro Tour Ixalan.
See you tomorrow. Don't you go anywhere. That's saying that to him. Let's take a look at the standings. Let's start with team standings and give you a sense of where things are after day one. So right now, Team Channel Fireball, they've got a 38-10 record. All 6 players are safely in to day 2. That's also true of Team Genesis. Remember them. Now, 30-18, that's a significantly worse record. But the fact remains, they have 6 players into day 2, and at 6-2, they've got Brown Bronduin and Seth Manfield on target for a top 8, round about the 12-4, 12-3-1 mark. Team Eureka had a very good day. Alexa Tellerov and Papadopoulos at 6-2. Well done to them. MTG Mint, you've just seen Yam at 8-0. Sam Illenfeld, now that's your go, right, Maria?
Yeah, Minneapolis boy there, Sam.
Mm-hmm. So well done.
Tour.
Yeah, and Tower Games not packed with star names, so that's a fantastic achievement to be on that first card there. I mean, Simon, everyone on that list is a standout team, with the exception of Tower Games. So what a wonderful day for them.
Absolutely, yeah. It's anything can happen, right? You just have to try your hardest, and sometimes you get rewarded.
I just want to point out that I called it at the beginning of the day, and you all made fun of me.
You know those weren't necessarily linked. We just like to make fun of you,
sure.
right?
Okay, fine.
So worth mentioning, Owen Turtenwald was sitting with William Jensen, Reed Duke, Andrew Cuneo, with a couple of rounds to go, going, things aren't great today. But then went, you know what? If a couple of us can win our last rounds, that turns our 5-2, which is not great, 5-3, miserable, 6-2, that's on track for top 8, right? Just about, right in the mix. And Turtenwald and Rietzl are at 6-2. So although it's not a great day for Ultimate Guard, they did salvage quite a bit in the last round or so. Final Last Samurai, they've got 5 players left in the mix, but Ultra Pro with Flock, Hain and Nass, not a great day for them, but still all 6 of them will come back. And Simon, points are so important. If you can, we're not going to talk a lot tomorrow about players on 9-7 and 10-6 or even 11-5, but that's where you turn 3 points into 4, 5 and 6 points, and do that 3 or 4 times over the course of a season. that's how you end up in the mix for the team series.
Yeah, individually you're looking to get those breakout performances, but for the team, you really want all of your team members in day 2.
All right, let's look at the individual scoreboard then and show you where we are as we head into day number 2. And remember that these players will be coming back to draft in order, so that means that table 1, Maria, will be pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, we've got Peter Guglowski on 8-0. Yam Wing Chung, our player of the day, also on 8-0. Chi Wen Tao, Team MTG Sheep at 7-1. And there's our first Pro Tour, 2 Pro Tour first-timers, Brad Maxwell, Sam Illenfalt, both on 7-1. What a fantastic day 1 for them. And then we have our Pro Tour champion of the last Pro Tour, Paulo Vitor Dama de Rosa, also on 7-1.
Yep, and then Zhao Han and Guillaume Matignon will round out Pod 1 in the morning. Pod 2 will be all 7-1s, including Stark, Hall of Fame, Saito, Dajon. John Rolfe had a great day, 2 Grand Prix top 8s in 2017. This is his best Pro Tour by a country mile. Wilson Hunter will be in there. Christian Hawke and Jeff Peaker, we haven't had a chance to talk about really today. Dave and Adams for Jeff Peaker, great job by him. And of course, Mike Sigris there, rounding out the top 2 tables. But you know what? 64 players are on 6-2 or better, which means that tomorrow when we come back, the draft pods are going to be exquisite. We cannot wait to bring you the continuing story of Ixalan draft and this super strange 2-tier, 2-world metagame that is mid-season Ixalan standard. We're going to try and get our heads around it. You have a great evening wherever you are around the world, and we'll see you all again for day 2 of Pro Tour Ixalan. See you later.